Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin back again, and today we are going to be looking at a video done by See You in History titled Ravana, the 10-headed demon Hindu king. So we have done like a lot of Hindu reaction videos, and usually we look at like the really popular entities, or like, you know, Ganesh or Shiva or Vishnu and stuff like that. I don't know how popular Ravana is, but I think there's something interesting to see, because I think he's usually depicted as the evil, you know, god or the evil entity within Hinduism. But I think he also plays some like lesson learning roles here for everyone. So we'll take a look at this video, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Ravana is the mighty demon king of Lanka, and is frequently described as having 10 heads and 20 arms. These numerous heads epitomize his wealth of knowledge and power. This powerful being has a key role in the Indian epic Ramayana. He is the son of the sage Vishrava and the demon princess Kaikeshi. Ravana's birth is often construed as an important mythical event, marking the union of the sacred sage lineages with the powerful and demonic Daikini bloodlines. Ravana undertook an intense penance to please Brahma, the god of creation. Overwhelmed by his devotion and sternness, Brahma stood before him and granted him a series of blessings. The most significant of these was immunity from being murdered or defeated by gods, demons, and other celestial beings. Yet Ravana underestimated human beings and animals by not requesting immunity from them, which would later become crucial in his defeat. These blessings made Ravana an immensely powerful and almost invincible being. Armored with his new blessings and powers, Ravana set out to seize the kingdom of Lanka. This was originally ruled by his half-brother Kubera, the god of wealth. Ravana contested Kubera for control of Lanka, and owing to Ravana's immense power and war skills, Kubera proved helpless to defend his kingdom against the charge. Ravana succeeded in conquering Lanka, forcing Kubera to flee. In the writings, Lanka is often described as a beautiful and wealthy city, and Ravana, upon assuming its control, established himself as a powerful and influential ruler. Ravana was infatuated with Rama, a celestial nymph in Hindu mythology who was set to marry his nephew, Nala Kubara. Ravana, tempted by her beauty, dishonored her. The result of this action was that Nala Kubara put a curse on Ravana, saying that, if he ever forced a woman against her will again, his head would be torn into 100 pieces. In a display of strength and tyranny, Ravana challenged and defeated Indra, the king of the gods and lord of the heavens. Indra represented a significant obstacle to Ravana's ambitions. He defeated Indra and subjugated him, a feat that no other demon had achieved before. This was a milestone in Ravana's rise, establishing his reputation as one of the universe's most powerful beings, and firmly cementing his position as a supreme ruler. Ravana, in his hubris and lust for power, sought to raise Mount Kailash, the home of the god Shiva. He wanted to move the mountain to his capital in Lanka, but Shiva, annoyed by this insolence, pushed down on the mountain with his toe, trapping Ravana underneath it. While imprisoned under Mount Kailash, Ravana wrote the Shiva Tandava Stotram.
Well, getting himself in all types of trouble here. You know, in the beginning, it seemed like he was trying to do everything he could to appease the gods, to get their good favor, and then once he got what he wanted out of them, it seemed like he just went off to take control of whatever he could take, you know, whether it was a city or that woman, or I think they call her a nymph or whatever. Is you know, maybe that's what what's the saying go? It's like absolute power always corrupts, or something like that.
Absolutely corrupts,
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah. So maybe this is a lesson on that of you know, like maybe being happy for not having all the infinite power. What would you do with infinite power? Maybe this is a lesson, like a to look within and see, like, what would you do if you could do anything you want? Would you be doing good?
I would integrate all my heads into one head, so my head didn't look like a bunch of shotgun shells.
That's a good idea. But maybe you could see.
I'd reduce the amount of limbs I had.
And I wonder if they can, because sometimes they do depict him as just with one head. Maybe that's just like a thing that comes out when he wants it to come out and freak everyone.
Or it's symbolic when somebody wants it to be symbolic, and literal when somebody else thinks it's literal or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a nuisance.
With the 10
having
heads?
all those heads,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I always wonder, I was having a little trouble focusing. My mind was on several things at once while we were watching this. But looking at this snapshot image that we got on the screen that we can see here, I'm wondering how humor plays in all this. You know what I mean? Like, humor is such a good leveler of things. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a place where humor's not allowed, like, that sucks, man. You know what I mean? If no one can crack a joke, or if levity can't be brought to things, or there's no room for somebody to be a little bit humbled, you know what I mean? I think that's the sentiment behind absolute power absolutely corrupts, or something like that. It's like, well, yeah, there's no like, nobody, that's like assuming you're the perfect piece. You're the most important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm the corner piece of this puzzle. I'm the most important. It's like, what about all the other pieces? You don't even exist. You're not a puzzle without all the other pieces. You're nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why a good question I ask is, what would you do if there were no other humans around? Not what would you do if you were rich. Not what would you do if you had all this power or money. What would you do if there were no other humans? And that should reveal to you, unless you're like a hermit already, but if you're like sort of an average integrated person into society, it should tell you how many things you do just for other people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just because you don't want to be alone or something like that. You know, that matters in the context of this, because we're talking about gods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the rules are different for them. They're not this. You can't take any cues from Shiva or this guy or anybody else. It's different for you. If you got to survive, if you got to get along with people, if you got to this or that.
Yeah. But these guys, they all seem to have one chink in the armor. That's what it seems like in all these stories. They got like that one thing
Weakness.
that can get them,
Like Superman with
kryptonite,
kryptonite.
and then the story usually ends with it being exploited and getting them in the very end. But,
yeah. Well, is there anybody with not even any weaknesses at all? Like maybe our weaknesses kind of give us distinction. Like maybe our weaknesses kind of allow us to exist. You know what I mean? Even if you're a god, you don't get away with having some weakness, or else you're just oblivion. You're just nothing. You're the ethereal realm itself.
Yeah.
But as long as you want to manifest as some kind of thing, you're going to have a weakness.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'm just blathering at this point. Let's continue.
All right. We'll continue on to the end, and then we'll meet you there.
A devotional hymn in praise of Shiva, expressing his piety and acknowledging the god's supremacy. This hymn is one of the most renowned and powerful in Sanskrit literature, reflecting Ravana's erudition and spiritual profundity. Struck by Ravana's devotion and humility, Shiva freed him and granted him even more blessings. Having obtained tremendous power and invincibility, Ravana set out to challenge different kingdoms, sages, and deities. These attempts were aimed at consolidating his power and establishing his supremacy. He invaded kingdoms, challenged and subdued kings and rulers, often confronting revered sages and disrupting their rituals and penances. These actions built Ravana's reputation as a feared and powerful ruler, but they also led to numerous enemies and accrued curses against him, which eventually contributed to his downfall. Sita's abduction is one of the pivotal events in Ravana's story and in the Ramayana's plot. Sita, Rama's devoted wife, was snatched by Ravana in revenge for Rama's humiliation of the powerful demon's sister. Having been scorned as a potential partner by Rama and his brother Lakshmana, and feeling humiliated, Surpanaka convinced Ravana to kidnap Sita. Blinded by revenge and enticed by Sita's description, Ravana orchestrated her abduction, taking her to Lanka. This triggered a series of events that would lead to the epic war between Ravana and Rama. Rama, helped by his brother Lakshmana, Hanuman, and the monkey and bear army, including his ally the monkey king Sugriva, attacked Lanka to rescue Sita. To take on Rama, Ravana called on his two powerful allies Kumbhakarna and Indrajit. Kumbhakarna, Ravana's giant brother, was known for his enormous strength and loyalty to the Lanka kingdom. He was roused from his deep slumber to fight in the war and wreaked havoc on Rama's army. Ravana's son Indrajit was an almost unbeatable warrior, well known for his ability to use mystical weapons and warfare tactics. He managed to defeat Lakshmana and almost changed the war in favor of Lanka. With Hanuman's help and divine intervention, however, Lakshmana was revived and, in a subsequent battle, killed Indrajit. The deaths of Kumbhakarna and Indrajit were major turning points in the war. Over the course of the war, Ravana suffered the loss of many of his brave sons. Of these, Akshaya Kumara was one of the most noteworthy. He faced Hanuman in battle, displaying his prowess and bravery, but was eventually killed. Losing his sons dealt a huge blow to Ravana, both militarily and emotionally. The great clash between the demon and Rama finally took place. Ravana, a tremendous warrior with magical powers and combat prowess, faced Rama in an intense and dramatic showdown. The fight was described extensively in the writings, highlighting the skill and heroism of both warriors. Yet, despite his bravery and power, Ravana was unable to surpass Rama, who was backed by divine power and the righteousness of his cause. Advised by the sage Vibhishana, Rama struck Ravana in his navel, where the demon's nectar of immortality was stored, leading to his death. Ravana's demise represents the triumph of good over evil and is seen as the fulfillment of divine justice. Notwithstanding his actions and role as an anti-hero in the Ramayana, Ravana is acknowledged and revered in many cultures for his erudition, power, and extreme devotion to the god Shiva. He is regarded as one of the Vedas' greatest scholars and an expert in astrology, politics, and medicine. His writing of the Shiva Tandava Stotram is also celebrated as a symbol of his spiritual depth. In certain Sri Lankan regions where he ruled, Ravana is worshipped as a wise and powerful king. This ambiguous portrayal of Ravana highlights the intricacy of characters in Hindu mythology, where the positive and negative aspects of a personality are often woven together. The mighty demon king Ravana has a role that extends beyond that of a simple antagonist to Rama. His story touches on themes of power, ambition, devotion, and redemption, a complex overview of human nature and moral ethics. Although often recalled for his act of kidnapping Sita and his later defeat by Rama, Ravana still stands as an iconic figure whose story, steeped in moral and spiritual shades, reflects the eternal quest to understand good, evil, and the consequences of human choices.
You know, one day when they've got computers wired right into our heads, where you're going to be able to walk into a great palace room and you're going to see that guy sitting on a cushion in real time with all those heads. One day you're going to be able to walk into a room and Ganesh will be in there and you'll be able to pet his trunk.
Yeah. Oh, and talk with them and have conversations.
Yeah.
And like they'll be able to tell you the story from the text that they came from.
Yeah.
Maybe even expand upon it and just like wire right into you. You'll be able to learn all these stories.
You'll feel it and you'll smell everything.
Yeah.
But that's a little further down the road.
Yeah.
For now, what's the theme of this? It just seems to be the old chestnut of good versus evil, you know?
Yeah. One of the things that shocked me was after he got like put under that mountain by Shiva, as he put his toe on the mountain to like pin him down there, and he like wrote a like beautiful hymn about Shiva and he released him or whatever. He went back to his evil ways after like being totally hogtied. How weird is that? Like when you think you think you're ultimately powerful and then you're humbled and you're put into a spot and they're like, now don't ever be like that again. And then they're like, we're going to untie you. So be good now. And then they're like, is he looking okay? Now I'm going to go back to what I was doing.
Did he pay for it the second time?
Well, he died. Rama killed him in the end.
He killed him in the end.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just for something to incarnate, to learn that lesson, to learn the lesson of double pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pride that can't even be permanently squashed, that's just going to keep reemerging. It's like, well, who are we to argue? You know what I mean? Has anyone ever just like never lost? They never lose. And they don't like kill themselves in the end. That's not how they don't jump off a cliff to get out of their repercussions of it. I'm saying, has anyone ever just been like perfect, conqueror, conquered everything?
In terms of like a Hindu god?
Any human,
Or
anything.
Anything.
Where it's like they're nothing but a conqueror and mic drop in your face. And then they didn't even die. They went to heaven forever.
Yeah.
Is that a character that we even care to hear about? What's with this like drama that we got to play out, even in our fiction, where somebody's humbled and then they gotta learn and then you know, like why can't anybody ever just learn a lesson?
It's
and
probably our
that.
addiction to the friction. Ooh, addiction to the friction.
Mm-hmm.
I think we like a challenge. We like something to fight for. We like something to go after because life gets stale if everything's perfect.
Yeah, imagine if staleness became the new heroin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine if it was like, you guys don't know, man, you haven't been paying attention to breathing properly. Breathing is where it's at. You'll never be bored if you figure out breathing.
Yeah.
You'll never be bored again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell are you even talking about, Justin? No, I'll take my poisonous addictions, please. Hang on a sec here. Just maybe you ever considered that, like, don't go along with any narrative being fed you? Invent your own new narrative. Invent with your inventive power, your godlike inventive power. Invent ways out of making the same mistakes over and over again, having to learn the same lessons over and over again. Have you not heard? Have you not read that ye are gods? Ye are gods. Invent some shit. Invent why living and eating well and being just non-dramatic is way superior. Invent your way into it. Does that make sense to you?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there's probably something there to chew on.
Yeah, I don't know. Chew on it at least.
There's, Ravana's an interesting character. I think he kind of shows like the good and the dark in all of us and all the different emotions and different things that we can become, humbled and then prideful and all that stuff, all the opposites. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. We'll end it here. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time, stay spiritual.